your face. Boom in your face. Boom in your face. Boom in your face. Hello and welcome to Boom in Your Face, a platform for indie artists and musicians to come and share their new music or projects, as well as discuss topics about the music industry and the community at large. Boom in Your Face has two meanings. One is that boom in your face from the music that you're listening to. But the other boom in your face is when someone assumes the situation is one way and boom in your face is totally wrong and something totally different. So on occasion, we discuss those boom in your face moments, so watch out that someone might be you. Listeners, if you'd like to share your boom in your face music or projects, or share your boom in your face moments, or just want to join us in the conversation, reach out and email me at boominyourface616@gmail.com or visit the website and sign up for the newsletter, like, subscribe, and share the episodes. I'm your host, Mary Kearney. Welcome. Bariatric surgery, also known as weight loss surgery, is a life-changing medical procedure that can help people who are severely overweight or obese lose weight and improve their health. The journey of a person before and after bariatric surgery can be a roller coaster of emotions and experiences. Before bariatric surgery, a person may struggle with his weight for years and even decades. They may have tried various diets, exercise routines, and weight loss programs without success. They may have experienced numerous health problems related to his weight, such as high blood pressure, diabetes, joint pain, and sleep apnea. They may have felt ashamed, self-conscious, and isolated due to their weight, and may have avoided social situations or activities that they would normally enjoy. The decision to undergo bariatric surgery is not an easy one, as it involves significant risks and lifestyle changes. However, many people who have undergone the procedure have reported significant improvements in their health, self-esteem, and overall quality of life. Before the surgery, a person will typically undergo a thorough medical evaluation to determine if they are a good candidate for the procedure. They may also be required to make certain lifestyle changes, such as quitting smoking or losing some weight before the surgery. The surgery itself can be a major procedure and may involve several different techniques, such as gastric bypass, sleeve gastrotomy, or adjustable gastric banding. Recovery from the surgery can be challenging and may involve a strict diet and exercise regime, as well as follow-up appointments with the surgical team. After the surgery, a person can experience significant changes in his physical and emotional well-being. They may lose a significant amount of weight in the months following the surgery, which can improve their overall health and reduce the risk of obesity-related diseases. They may also experience increased energy, improved sleep, or better mobility. In addition, they may feel more confident and self-assured and may be able to participate in activities or social situations that they previously avoided. However, the journey after bariatric surgery is not always easy, and many people face challenges in maintaining their weight loss and adjusting to their new lifestyle. They may need to make significant changes to their diet and exercise habits and may need to rely on support from family, friends, or support groups to stay on track. Overall, the journey of a person before and after bariatric surgery can be a transformative experience with significant benefits for both their physical and emotional health. While the decision to undergo bariatric surgery is a deeply personal one with significant risks and rewards, many people who have undergone the procedure have reported a renewed sense of hope and optimism about their future. If you decide that this is a path for you on your journey, always seek medical advice from a physician before you move forward. Hi, this is Mary Kearney with Boom in Your Face with James Kearney, and we're going to talk today about health and wellness. This is a health and wellness piece. He's been through a life-changing event, and I'm going to let him talk about his story.
Hello, I'm James Kearney, as she said. Recently, I struggled with some serious health issues, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I was on an insulin pump for about 20 years, and so I didn't just decide, but myself and my family decided that I needed to do something with my health. So I tried exercising, and it helped, but it didn't do everything. So I went to a procedure, and the procedure that I went to is called the dual switch. It's a type of bariatric surgery that consists of the sleeve and the bypass at the same time.
So now you spoke about your surgery and the things that had you going, but what in your life led you to making that type of decision? Because it doesn't just happen overnight. You really start explaining your story on the lifestyle you started and what
Okay.
started happening with you and
Right.
what brought you to that point.
So my health deteriorated very quickly as I got up in age. My family, my wife in particular, she recently, at that time, had a call in to become a minister. And one day I was in the room laying down, and some days I never even got out of bed. I just didn't even want to leave the house. It's miserable, depressed. And she came in the room and she said to me, she said, Jay, she said, you have to get up out that bed. She said, God told me to tell you that the doctors have done all they can do, and there's nothing else they can do. You got to do the next move. You got to get up out that bed. And that did something to me. It did something to my heart and to my spirit. It motivated me to get moving. But as I walked every day at the weight of almost 400 pounds, I think it contributed to another injury with my back, and there was a setback. And they always say the devil is busy, so when you're trying to do something positive, there's always something to come up that will let you down or make you think that you need to stop. So it upset me, and I was depressed because I had to go through a serious back surgery. And after I got through with this back surgery, I knew there was nothing I couldn't do anymore that I needed to do for myself. So I looked into bariatric surgery, which I had looked into it years ago, but I was a little frightened to do it. But what took me over was my son. My oldest son came to me and he said, Dad, I'm currently ready to have a family yet, but I'm concerned because when I'm ready to have a family, I want my kids to experience their grandfather because you're a great dad. And it touched my heart. My wife, along with my oldest son, really was the deciding factor on my surgery. So the process was lengthy. It was a 9-month process before I could even get scheduled for the operation.
Well, what kind of mental state was you going through as a transition? Because just like you said, it was a hard process to even have the concept of, but what was you going through mentally?
Mentally at that time, I was already going through depression, so it didn't really affect me at that time. The preparation didn't. However, mental health did play a big role in it after I had the surgery. But before that, prior to that, I was already going through depression. When you're obese and feeling sick and feeling ill and not able to enjoy your family and enjoy activities, it's depressing because when you come into a relationship with a person, you don't expect you to have to take care of them or them to be disabled at some point quicker than normal lifespan. So when you get in your 80s and 90s, if God blessed you that long, then it's acceptable. But in your 40s and 50s, you don't expect to be disabled, and it was hard for me. So mentally at that point, I was already going through some things because of my health issues. Now, fast forward. I was tough all the way until they scheduled my surgery, because at this time I had lost 30 pounds and I was feeling good. And I said, hey, maybe I don't need this surgery. I said, wait a minute, I might not want to do this surgery. So I was having second thoughts. But the only thing that bothered me at that time, my diabetes was still bad, and I still had that insulin pump on, pumping all day long. I had sensors going off all night. I had a loud CPAP machine on every night, and I know that affected my wife, and it affected me. So I know it affected her. So because of that, I decided to just put my fears aside and go with it, scared and all, and I did it.
So when you first got released from the hospital, we'll even back up further than that. When you first woke up from surgery, what was that initial feeling like?
I was happy that I did the surgery, but I was concerned because you don't know. Anytime you go through a surgery like that, for one, you can die from it. Any surgery that's serious, you can die from. You can die from almost anything, but you know for a fact that there's been casualties from this type of surgery. So when I woke up, that's the first thing was on my mind. Was I going to make it? Thank God I'm awake, but am I going to make it? So.
Okay.
I just wanted my family there. I just wanted to see them. I wanted the comfort of them, letting them to tell me that you did the right thing. It's okay. You're gonna be all right. And that was important to me at that time.
Okay, so now the process, because the surgery was the main part, but there's a process after that Was you ready for what was to come? Or
I had no idea what to expect, and I know a lot of people won't have an idea what to expect, but it was more than I thought. So, whew, where do I start? Okay, first of all, when I was in the hospital, let me go back there. When I was in the hospital, this is when my first mental health breakdown started after surgery, and when I was trying to recover in the hospital to come home. Turned the TV on, and all I saw were food commercials. Food commercials.
Marketing for you.
Burger King, McDonald's, you name it. Every food you wanted was up there, and I loved to eat. And I was so depressed. My stomach was growling. I wanted to eat. I felt like I could eat a cow at that time, and I was sick to my stomach. Mentally, that's where the mental breakdown started there. So when I got home, yes, it got better because I was around my family, around my loved ones. My wife took very good care of me. She made me warm broth, and she just showed me some love along with my rest of my family. So it helped a lot. But mentally, if you're not ready for it, you really need to research, because it's a lot with your mental health if you after you have the surgery. Just smelling foods, because you changed your habits and because you had a surgery doesn't mean everyone in your home is going to change their habits.
Right.
So they're not going to curb their cooking, and you smell that food and it drives you insane. Sometimes it makes you even sick because you know you can't eat it, and it just turns your whole appetite. It's a lot. But if I had to answer a question, if I would do it again, my only regrets today is that I didn't do it sooner.
Okay, that sounds sensible. And why do you say that's your regret that you didn't do it sooner? Why?
Because I missed out on a lot of fun. And what I mean by that is, my family, we're big road runners. We go all over the place, all over the country. We go travel everywhere. And so when I was somewhat healthy and I was able to enjoy it, we go running, we'll go to Mexico, we'll go here, we go to California. It was nothing to us. I used to love taking a long road drive. It was nothing like it until diabetes hit. And when diabetes hit, you can't see at nighttime. It's just almost impossible. So I didn't want to drive anymore because I felt it was dangerous. So I missed out on a lot of family stuff, but I also enjoyed the working field. I was in a field that I really loved doing, and if I had had this surgery earlier, I probably would have been far ahead in that career or even in my personal businesses.
Well, okay. You're trying to shy away from it, but he was a sergeant in law enforcement, so you was doing public service. You was one of the first responders, right?
Yes, I was one of the first responders. I actually was working for a county that they gave out special awards, firearm awards, and to my knowledge, there hadn't been an African American to win this award ever.
For record.
For record.
For fact,
right.
He was the first African American to be a marksman and win that award.
That's right, and
several times.
And that's right. And
don't be so humble.
Not only did I do it once, but I said to myself, if somebody beat me, they're going to have to shoot 100 plus one. And they couldn't do it. And so, but I did make them stop giving the award out, because after I got the award about 4 or 5 times, they didn't even give the award anymore. They used to give a big celebration and have a bunch of people come in the room and dress you with an award. After I won it about four times in a row, they said I'd just give them a certificate and let it go. And that was that.
Changing history for things.
Yes.
So now getting back to what you was talking about with mental health, because that's important, because you were saying that to read and do a lot of research, but even more than doing a lot of research, you would need really someone, a counselor, a professional to really talk with you, because they do assign that as a part of your process, is it not?
Absolutely. In the beginning, you have one of the requirements is that you see a psychologist, and if you don't do that, they won't even let you get to surgery. First of all, the surgery is serious, and they have to clear you competent in order to do it, along with a bunch of other tests, cardio, pulmonary, a lot of different things. They really, if you go to the right bariatric clinic, and I advise you all to research. Just don't go to a place and say, oh, they do bariatrics. Research it. Research their history.
All medical, you should.
Research their casualties, because this is very important. They took good care of me, and they made sure that I was well prepared for their parts. Now, the recovery parts, they did not prepare me for this. And I don't think anybody can unless they've been through the operation themselves.
And what part did they prepare you for?
Whew. Well, where do I start? For one, your digestive change.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, once you have that bypass, the food no longer stays in your small intestines. That's where most of the fine digestions go. And your food processes in your small intestines. Well, since I had the bypass, it goes straight to my large intestines and then out. And because of that, the foulest smell you ever want to smell comes out of you that you won't even believe.
If you had smell-o-vision, you would leave right now.
You would never believe it. And it's unreal. But the gas, the bloating, and I've recently found something out about that. I'll talk about that later. But that's one part. The other part is you have to do exercise with this surgery. Well, they teach you need to walk, but you need to do more than just walk because everybody don't have thousands of dollars to have skin surgeries and all that stuff. So I advise you to get into some kind of weight training or weight toning to tighten your skin up and feel that when that fat comes out, it's going to leave sagging skin. So you want to be able to feel that sagging skin so it don't sag. So you need to fill it with muscles, even if it's toning or building. It's going to be very hard to build muscles now because your food doesn't digest the same and you don't get all the nutrients from the foods you eat.
So let's slow. Mm-hmm. Because you're talking about how you're not going to get the nutrients. Now, it's all different types of different kind of surgeries.
Right.
The kind that you had has that side effect, which is what? What kind
It's called the dual switch. So they call it the dual switch for short. And that is two surgeries in one. It's the sleeve, where they remove 90% of your stomach and leave a small portion left. And they do the bypass at the same time. This is a long surgery, 4 to 5 hours operation. So it's very serious. Mm-hmm. Unlike the band, because you can get a band, which is a simple operation, relatively in and out, same day.
They're all dangerous, but I mean, they're different ranges. That's why you have to check with your medical and make sure that you're doing what's best for your lifestyle and your ability, because some people are not going to be able to stick to the regime that you go through, which is what? How does your day consist of food?
My day consists of lots of protein. And what I mean by lots of protein, is that, first of all, it's expensive. So if you're thinking you're going to get away with something and be cheaper, you're not. Because I did a couple of things. The medications that I used to get, a lot of them are gone. 90% of them are gone. But also my insurance covered 95% of that insurance. So I only had a small copay. However, now that I had this surgery, I have to take multiple vitamins, and I mean lots of them, every day, 3 times a day. Insurance does not cover that, so that has to come out your pocket. Now, you also have to take lots of protein because the food you get, you're going to never be able to get enough protein from the amount of food that you eat because your stomach is small and it won't allow you to eat that much food at one time. So that's why you have to have concentrated portions of protein. And I start off in the morning with Greek yogurt, 0 calories, 0 fat, 0 sugar. 30 grams of protein in a protein shake and 1 bottle of water, and I am full to the rim. That's what I start off with at 6 o'clock in the morning.
All right, so now that's 6 o'clock in the morning. But you have to have that protein, 4 to 5 times a day? You have to do that as well with the yogurt?
Yes, 4 to 5 times a day. So then again at 10:30, I'll have some protein, water, maybe a snack. Lunchtime, I'll have yogurt, protein, a snack, and maybe a salad. Then again at dinner. And right before I go to bed, I'll do the same process. And like I said, there's different types of protein out there. All of them are relatively good, but you need to research it. Some of them will fill you up more than the other ones. And you don't want to have that bloat feeling going around all day. You want it because it's going to be annoying to you. It's going to be irritating to your bowels. And the process is slow, so you'll be miserable until that moves. So you want to get a protein that's light on your stomach. So I advise you to try a few of them.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you this question. Now, you're doing all those proteins, and you know you're a heavy eater because you already spoke to that. How does that affect when you smell that aroma? Because you're talking about smelling good food and your appetite. How does it change? Is it the same?
First of all, let me clear this up. Your appetite does not change. the desire to eat food does not change. That's never going to change. If you was a heavy eater, you're always going to want to be a heavy eater. But what changes is the ability to eat that much food, because when you consume so much food, you will be in so much pain that after about 5 times of heavy eating, I promise you will never eat heavy again. But what I do is I may eat 5 small times a day or 6 times, because
which is already recommended as a daily diet for anyone. But go ahead.
That's right. So I may have 6 small meals to satisfy my desire to eat, because I can't eat a large portion at one time. So I have to wait until it goes down, and then I'm still hungry. And actually, they say that surgery helps your stomach to think that you're full and that you won't have this appetite, but that's not true. My stomach still says you want to eat. You're hungry. Because of that, I keep myself moving. I keep myself busy. I stay motivated from sun up to sundown. I try not to even look at my bed. I don't even want to get in it because I have plenty of time to sleep. I've been sleeping for the last 30 years. I'm good. If it's not nighttime, I don't even want to lay down. So I want to stay moving because I know I still love to eat.
We're getting invaded by a flock of birds, people. They they feel the energy of love. And so they're coming around here and they follow me like Dr. Doolittle. But go ahead.
And so your appetite is going to always be there, but your desire is going to always be there. Try to make healthier choices. And whatever you do, stay busy.
Now, you spoke about all these things, and now I know for a fact one thing that motivated you to get your story out was what? What did you do so that you could reach everyone in your own personal spaces to be able to understand his full story?
I actually inspired to write a book, and my wife actually inspired me. She's a very ongoing person. She loves getting into everything, doing everything, and dibbles and dabbles and everything. There's nothing she can't do. So if she tell you her whole full list, you'll say it's not true. But I promise you it is true. So she inspired me to write a book, and I wrote a book currently called Bariatric Surgery and Spirituality.
Okay.
And to give more details about why I named it that is because, first of all, the bariatric surgery, but the spirituality is very important. And I'll tell you why. You're gonna always want God in your life. And no matter what kind of religion you have, we all know that there is a higher being. And even though I had a great relationship with him, when I had the surgery and before I had the surgery, my faith was renewed. And I leaned on him a little bit more, and I asked him for things. I prayed for things for me and for my family. And I can tell you today that my prayers were answered. So I know God loves me. And one thing I prayed for is to not ever have this insulin going through my body again. Well, at that point, my A1C was 9.6. And that's with insulin. Today, not even a year later, my A1C is 4.6, and I haven't been on any insulin since my surgery. So I know God exists. God has blessed me, and He's also taken away the high cholesterol. He's helping lower the high blood pressure. Some people don't get discouraged because all your symptoms are not healed from the surgery, because I was hypertensive when I was small. So hypertension is not a small or a big thing. And neither is diabetes, but particularly hypertension. However, I went from taking about 6 to 7 blood pressure pills a day to taking 2 a day. And so I'm still blessed, and I'm grateful for what God gave me. Whatever God gives me, I'm going to accept and receive it and be grateful.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on, telling your story. I know that you have more to tell and more to write about and more to let people know. And if anybody wants to know any more details about it, they can, of course, go to the site, Boom in Your Face Podcast, to the site to get more in-depth detail, or check out for the book on Amazon, because that's where you can reach it, or even in Barnes & Noble. But what I'm going to say is, if you were struggling, it doesn't just have to be this. It doesn't have to just be this particular thing about weight. Sometimes you could be, because I met a young lady this week and it had a body image and she was only 100 pounds. So your body image is a problem that's deeper than just the surface of what you look like. It really could just be something going on with your mental health. So either way, reach out, talk to someone. If you need some information, me to help you along your journeys, just Mary Kearney at Booming Your Face Podcast, email to me, and I'll be more than willing to help you get whatever resources in touch with you that you need. Now, Mr. Kearney, is there anything else you want to tell people about yourself?
Yeah, just one more thing. I'm currently working on my second book to the surgery, and it's called Living Life After Bariatric Surgery, and it'll be available in March on my yearly anniversary, because I had the surgery last year in March.
Right.
So somewhere in March, I'm going to publish my next book, and I want you all to read it. And this one shows the progress, different pictures of weight changes, how I'm trying to master my body again and take back my life.
All right, that sounds awesome.
Thank you, Mary, for interviewing me.
There's no problem. You know I'm going to do that. But also what I'm going to say is that it's also going to be a part where we're going to actually speak to couples that are going through this same issue, because it's a life change for not just the one person, it's for everybody in the family, but also the partner in the situation. So we need to let those voices be heard as well. Come on back, check it out, give us your input, your feedback, your comments. We accept it all, we love it all, we need it. And you take care. Listeners, I want to thank you again for joining me for another episode of Booming Your Face. Please remember to support the podcast on the website. As a reminder, if you'd like to share your Booming Your Face music, or share your Booming Your Face moments, or just want to join in the conversation, reach out and email me at boomingyourface616@gmail.com, or visit the website and sign up for the newsletter and share your stories. I'm your host, Mary Kearney. Be blessed. Booming your face. Booming your face. Booming your face.